All right. Well, you're listening to Film Bros. This is like a kind of a brand new thing. I've been talking to my boy Sam over here for a little bit. We've been trying to do this for a while, but our schedules just haven't really worked out.
What up?
So yeah, I'm Caleb,
I'm Sam.
and I totally meant to do this throughout the year, like through different movies we've seen. But since it's the end of the year, we thought we'd just talk about like the best and the worst movies of this year that we thought that we saw. I can tell you my bottom two right now. My bottom two are Finding Dory and Batman versus Superman.
Those are your bottom two.
Those are my bottom two.
Let me see. I'm looking at a list here. I didn't watch a ton of movies.
I didn't watch a ton of movies either. Most of what I watched were superhero movies. And then
Hmm.
I got to see the newest Godzilla movie that came out in Japan over here because they had a limited theatrical
Yeah, I saw
release.
something about that.
That was pretty good. That was a good movie.
The CGI on it looked a little
Oh, it's
weak.
Japan, and it's a
Yeah.
Godzilla movie. So CGI, isn't going to be the greatest, but it was better than what I expected, to be honest.
Hmm.
Um, I know my top one probably for this year, my top two were definitely Civil War and just Zootopia. Those are both really good movies.
It's not bad. The worst movies. Suicide Squad.
I knew you were gonna
Easily.
say Suicide Squad.
That one was trash, and I'm pretty sure it was. I'm pretty sure that would be my worst. My pick for
I
the worst
still
movie.
think it was more put together than Batman vs Superman
No,
was.
not even close. Not even close. I don't know what was going through David Ayer's head. I haven't seen a lot of David Ayer movies, so I wouldn't.
I don't think I've seen any David Ayer movies, but just I thought it was ridiculous when he came up on like the opening night and he was just like, "Yeah, fuck Marvel." I was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, buddy, you're not." That's just like like a second place winner in a marathon,
Hmm.
like saying like "fuck you" to the first place winner, going like, "Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right, I'm better than you. I got second place."
I
It's
don't
just
know why
like,
he did that anyway, because the more money Marvel makes, the more money DC makes. They're kind of one and the same. If one of their movies does bad, then people are gonna be jaded from superhero movies, um, as is already happening.
all
My
right, so
my pick for another worst one would probably have to be Secret Life of Pets.
I didn't even bother with that movie.
That movie was just absolute garbage.
It had a lot of big name actors attached to it too, and I was like, why are you guys doing this?
It could have been good, but it was just so boring and
Well, it was DreamWorks,
bland. It was like it was literally the plot of Toy Story, but it was
with pets.
yeah, it was pets, and it
Oh,
was a
you know what?
boring version.
Two movies that, um, actually one movie in particular that kind of blew me away. That was a lot better than I expected. I don't know if you ever got a chance to see it. Sausage Party.
I wouldn't say it blew me away.
I had
Um,
you got so I had super low expectations for it,
oh, okay.
and I don't know. To me, that's how you make a parody movie right there. Is that's how it's supposed to be done.
It was There was a few funny ongoing jokes throughout the film, but it was
I think the ending scene was unnecessary. I saw it with Nick Binford, and we
I
were
think that was
literally,
just for
yeah,
shock effect.
we were literally screaming the entire movie. Like, and it got to the end of the movie where like we didn't even stay for the credits. As soon as the credits popped up, we just looked at each other and we were just like, yeah, let's just fucking get out of here.
Yeah, Sausage Party. It was all right. Not something I'm gonna watch again, or probably not even something I'm gonna buy on DVD. But it was
I'm
okay.
I'm debating on whether buying it on DVD or not.
The thing I appreciate most um about Sausage Party was just its messages about religion. It had a lot of
It had a lot of clever ways of delivering those messages, and I really enjoyed that.
yeah, and it really. I was watching it with someone that was religious, and I think it kind of flew over their heads about what they were
I'm
saying.
pretty religious, and I found all the jokes really spot on and funny. So,
Yeah, so
props off to them. I was really surprised that Edward Norton was the bagel. Like, I was not expecting that at all. That just did not
I think I
sound.
saw his name in the opening credits,
Yeah.
and then I was like, I wonder who he's playing, and then I heard that thing speak, and I was like, oh, that's definitely him.
I think the only movie I bought this year from movies that came out was honestly just Civil War. It's actually sitting on the floor right there.
Oh, the guy even bought that.
That, yeah, that hit all like it had a lot of problems with it, like as any movie does, but it hit a lot of the right marks for me,
Hmm.
like as well.
Now, the best movies. Um, that's hard. There weren't like any. I don't feel like there was any movies that just really struck home for me. I haven't
Um,
seen Star Wars Rogue One yet, so
I haven't either, and I'm guessing you haven't seen any of the indie movies that have been getting a lot of praise either.
no.
Yeah, those are all playing at the East Warren, and I don't just have enough time to go all there like all the time to see that shit.
Yeah, no, no.
So anyone who was expecting, some like, we're probably like, this is probably just like popular films that came out this year.
Yeah.
One film that was not as bad as actually two films that weren't as bad as I thought they were going to be were Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Ghostbusters.
Didn't see either, but there were reasons I didn't see either. I hate Michael Bay.
I hate Michael Bay too.
He is the epitome of everything I hate in the film industry, and his attitude towards that is that he doesn't care that he's the worst. He makes companies a lot of money, so they keep him around. But what he does isn't hard, and he pretends like it.
He
It
pretends like
is.
it's art, and that's what
Yeah.
pisses me the fuck off. Because I'm just like, Michael Bay, all you're doing is like, with the Transformers franchise in particular, is I feel like he's purposefully making each one shittier just to see, how
And
much he can get away with.
and then making the eye candy girls and them younger and younger to see how young he can get them.
It's like, all right, so you moviegoers out there, Michael Bay is literally just jerking off in your face over there, and you're paying him for it.
I don't know. Wasn't she? I don't know. In the movie, they were like trying to make her 16 or 17. I know she was a minor,
I can't
and
really
he
talk
has
about
the.
this.
I know. Well, yeah, but he has these shots that are like zooming in on her. You know how Michael Bay
Yeah,
is. I don't know. I feel like that's just weird.
it is weird.
But Deadpool was a good, funny
Deadpool,
movie.
Deadpool was the first two times I saw it were really great, and then the third time it just kind of wore off on me.
I've never been a huge fan of Deadpool, so I mean,
I haven't
people.
either. He's one of those things on the internet that people overuse like a shit ton, and I was really nervous. But Ryan Reynolds nailed that fucking role. That role
Yeah.
was just that is Ryan Reynolds' role right there. So
Hmm.
Deadpool is really great. It's definitely up there for me.
Now, Batman v Superman, it had its strengths, it had its
You know what?
weaknesses.
I'm not gonna lie. As much as I hate on that movie, I there were a lot of moments in the theater where I was geeking out and on the edge of my seat, going, "Oh, that's so fucking cool." But the movie, just in general, like after it was all said and done, just left me going, "Wow, I kind of expected a lot more from that."
Yeah, I could ramble on about Batman v Superman all day, but the thing was, they had too many, too many details in the plot. The plot was convoluted, and Batman and Superman didn't fight for that long.
They
That was
really
the
should have just
focus of the
focused
movie.
on Batman versus Superman.
And the thing was, Batman and Superman weren't fighting each other because they wanted to. Superman didn't want to. Batman obviously wanted to, but Superman didn't want to, so his heart wasn't in it. So that's not really a fight. It didn't really matter who won. Batman's fight scenes were good. I like the direction they're taking Batman with
I like Ben
his
Affleck. I think he's a good Batman.
the fact that he doesn't really care if he kills someone, if it's passively and while he's
Yeah, I know the director
chasing them
described
down.
it like this, like someone throws a grenade at him, he hits it back. They're the ones who pulled the pin on the grenade. He's just defending himself.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, they should know not to throw a grenade at
I
him.
think the biggest problem I had with the movie is it was just a trailer for the Justice League. And there's literally that moment in the middle of the movie where, like, it was a really cool moment. This was one of those moments where I geeked out on. I was like, ah, yeah, it's so cool. Where Wonder Woman opens the files
Yeah,
and she's all the members of the Justice League, and it's
they're
like the movie literally pauses right there for me. It just pauses and goes, "Hey guys, look at this! You know how Marvel had the Avengers? Well, we're coming out with Justice League. Stay tuned." And I'm just like, really could have been an after credit scene. That did not
yeah.
need to be in the middle of the movie.
The problem there was a lot of problems with that. Not just that it was just thrown into the middle of the movie. Um, One, if those people existed, Bruce Wayne would know before Lex Luthor.
Hmm.
especially after Superman. He'd definitely be looking for those kind of people. Um, it was thrown in the middle there.
Also, he
Didn't
had to
really.
go
It didn't need to
through
be in the movie at
Amanda
all.
Waller to get those files.
Yeah, same thing there. Like if there's something that he needs, he's gonna be able to get it before Amanda Waller is. Um, X-Men Apocalypse was actually not bad, but it
Um,
got trashed by
Other critics and
general
everything. Yeah.
audience.
10 Cloverfield Lane. I forgot about that movie. I don't know if you ever saw that, but that was a very well-made movie. John Goodman brought that's probably my favorite performance of this year so far
Is
is
that a
John
horror movie?
Goodman's. Um I wouldn't really call it a horror movie. I would call it suspense thriller mixed with sci-fi. J.J. Abrams did a fantastic job of kind of, just I wouldn't say it's going back to the Cloverfield universe. I guess
Mm-hmm.
the way he described it is kind of think of the Cloverfield universe as the X Files, not the X Files, Twilight Zone, where like each like installment is a different thing and its own entity entirely. But
I saw The Accountant. That was
I know a lot of people like were kind of raving about that. I
that
don't know
was
how
all
that
right.
was.
Apparently, that was um, his deal with Warner Brothers was he plays Batman and they give him funding to make The Accountant, which
Hmm.
is kind of weird.
I really don't understand why a lot of people had like were having trouble having Ben Affleck as Batman. But at first I was like, yeah, that's a terrible choice. But that was only because I confused Ben Affleck with Ben Stiller. And I was thinking,
How do you do that?
I don't even know. And I was saying, yeah, Ben Stiller's a horrible fucking choice for Batman. Are you kidding me? And then someone was like, oh no, it's this guy. And I was like, oh, that guy's fine. That's a
Yeah,
lot better than Ben Stiller.
no, the problem was they saw issues with Daredevil, but I don't. He
Daredevil was so many
he'd
years
since
ago,
redeemed
though.
himself and won Oscar, so I don't really um, see.
It was not. I guess like this year just wasn't like it was a good year for like I guess comic book fans, but as moviegoers in a whole, maybe wasn't the greatest. I mean, there's definitely some good films this year, but
Yeah, I'm not.
I don't think anything really shook me up and changed my way of life.
Yeah, Doctor Strange wasn't, in my opinion, wasn't really that good. I watched it twice.
Doctor Strange was decent. Marvel just hit another just like good shot
And they
and
hit all their
their marks that they
chords.
needed to and gave the audience what they wanted. I'll be honest, I was kind of wanting a little more from it, but I still enjoyed it. I thought the visuals were fantastic, but yeah, I definitely did want a little bit more from it. What's that?
Well, I'm looking at movies coming out in 2017. There's a movie coming out, Emoji Movie.
Oh God.
Express Yourself. I
I feel
will.
like Trolls was one of the worst movies too.
I didn't see Trolls,
I
but
didn't see
apparently
Trolls
people
either.
liked it.
I just didn't want to bother because of what happened to the Smurfs and Alvin and the Chipmunks and everything. And I was just like, probably gonna do the same thing they did with those and
Now,
make him sing hip hop and rap and everything and try to make him be, hip with the times.
hmm
It always weirds me out when companies do that with their like cartoon licenses.
um, yeah, a movie's coming out in 2017.
Ooh, I can tell you the number one I'm looking forward to is definitely Kong Skull Island. I am totally looking forward to that, and I'm super excited that it takes place in the same universe as Godzilla 2014. And also, Spider Man comes out on my birthday next year, so I'm really fucking hyped for that.
Now the thing is, I don't care for any of the superhero movies that are coming out next year.
We got.
Apparently, there's another Pirates of the Caribbean coming.
I am looking forward to that. I do enjoy Pirates of the Caribbean, and also Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 looks like it's going to be great.
Looks like it'll be. It's not. I'm not excited for it though. I'm sure it'll be fine. Power Rangers is
I'm
coming.
not excited for Power Rangers. I just saw the first trailer did not impress me, and it looked like it was just trying to be like dark and edgy, and I was like, can we just go back to the fun Saturday morning
Actually,
cartoons?
scratch that. I am actually looking forward to Wonder Woman. I saw the trailer for that before seeing.
DC's Captain America.
I forgot. Crap, I forgot what I.
Wonder Woman.
No, there was a movie. I forgot what movie I'd seen before pretty recent. Oh, I saw Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
That movie impressed me. I was really hesitant on it because I'm hesitant on anything that's a prequel to
It was
something that's already wrapped up. But
it was funny. It's not really a prequel because a prequel would
yeah,
imply that it connects it to the same story. Um,
I mean, like it
it's
takes
just in the
place
same
before.
world.
Yeah, and you know what? I'll be honest. I think I enjoyed it more than Harry Potter because
Yeah, I can't.
throughout
I don't share that sentiment.
the thing is, I did not care for Harry at all throughout the whole Harry Potter series, or really his battle with Voldemort. Really, I was always just fascinated with the world around him, and I always just wanted to know more about what was going on around Harry than Harry himself. And this was yeah, it was a fantastic way to do that
Well, the
with
thing
this
is,
movie.
yeah, I guess, but the thing is, Harry is a catalyst for you to do that. So Harry's a character that, as he learns about the magical world, you learn about the magical world. He's there as the audience,
Yeah,
seeing
but
it.
they
So
never stay
he's the
where I want them
catalyst
to,
for that.
like enough for me to know like more about it. They always go back to Harry's battle with
The
this
thing
evil.
about Harry Potter, the difference between Harry Potter and Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them is that Harry Potter builds a world. It structures that world well, and it, for the most part, follows the rules of that world until something comes along that, like
Needs
the
to
time
break
turner.
it. Yeah,
Every
that.
time that there's some things that can create plot holes in there, like the time turner being the biggest one, which I personally don't think is a time turner, but plot hole, but that's
They
a
got rid of all
discussion
the
for
time
another
turners,
time.
right?
Yeah, the thing where she handled that real sloppily, like because people thought it was a plot hole. Oh, they all got destroyed in Order of the Phoenix in the battle. Like that's too convenient. Like don't do that. And that's the problem with Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them is that it's too convenient. There's problems thrown out and then a solution for it a second later. That's just like here's a magical problem. Here's a magical solution. There was no structure to it. There was no
I
there was no
was
predestined way that it worked. Like how Voldemort didn't die was because there was the Horcruxes. There was that structure, or the way that Harry didn't die was because of love, which was cliche and kind of stupid, but it was there. The thing in Fantastic Beasts of Where to Find Him is like, oh, this thing that takes up a whole room. I have a magical teapot. Let's throw it in there. Like that. It was just throwing stuff all over the place. It was just too much to take in at once. Um,
the CG. Some of the CGI in the movie surprised me on how outdated it looked.
that's because the
Spe-
entire movie had to be CGI. So
Specifically, there's one scene in particular, and he's a fantastic actor. I love him. Ron Perlman. He played that. I forgot what the little goblin guy's name was, but they were in that underground speakeasy kind of bar, and he's Ron Perlman voices that little troll guy,
mhm.
and they're talking, and the whole time I was like, they're not even trying to fool me right now. That's just CGI right there.
And I'm really worried that they're bringing Grindelwald into the whole thing because in the Harry Potter world, there's Voldemort, who is he's very present
Hmm.
throughout the thing, throughout the Harry Potter world because he's the big baddie of that time era. But then before that, there was Grindelwald,
Yeah.
and there was a certain area of mystery around Grindelwald as to who he was and how him and Dumbledore had been friends in their childhood. To throw him into the mix here, he's just gonna be another Voldemort. If the
How do you feel
movie,
about Johnny Depp playing him?
I think that was kind of stupid. Like I I think that was thrown in there as fan service to Johnny Depp fans. I don't know. I feel like that guy that played him could have played him
He was doing a
instead
fantastic job.
instead of being like a different guy and then like getting morphed into Grindelwald, who looks stupid by the way. Like Grindelwald, he can look normal. The thing about Voldemort was he looked evil because he had literally split his
Yeah.
soul by killing so many people. But Grindelwald can look like a normal guy. He can be
He
a
looked
normal guy.
albino to me. He had the red
Yeah,
eyes and the white
he
hair.
doesn't need to look evil, and he has no reason to look evil. He didn't make any Horcruxes, and that's I don't know. It's kind of dumb. I'm not saying Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them was dumb. It's just that
There's just some problems you had with it. That's fine.
And it doesn't hold any kind of, in my opinion, doesn't hold any kind of flame up to what Harry Potter was and how well built that world was. And I'm guessing you didn't. Did you read any of the Harry Potter books?
Of course, I read the Harry
okay.
Potter books. I am offended right now.
Hey, I've recently ran into two people that have seen all the movies but not read a single one of the books. But it's better structured, and J.K. Rowling does a better job of telling that story and then tying everything up at the end. Because I am 98% sure that when she wrote Chamber of Secrets, she had no intention of having that be one of Voldemort's Horcruxes. But that's the thing is when she was making that story,
As she went along.
she was able to how do I put it? She was able to improvise and come up with that kind of stuff. And Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, they're improvising on the spot. They're not doing it well.
Can I take a look at this?
They're just throwing it out there as they think of it. Like, what are some of the animals?
Thor Ragnarok. I'm looking forward to that one.
I could not. Yeah, see, the thing is, the Thor movies, I've never seen a single one, and I have not missed.
I will be honest.
Second of,
I'll be honest. You haven't missed anything with the first two, but this one, Hulk's gonna be in it, and it's just if you're a comic book nerd, then it's gonna be a treat for you because Planet Hulk and everything like that. Otherwise, you can probably skip this one too. War of the Planet of the Apes, or For the Planet of the Apes.
That's my number 2 movie. I'm looking
I
forward to next
am
year.
looking forward to that.
Rise
one.
of the Planet of the Apes and Dawn were surprisingly good.
Yeah.
Not surprisingly good. They were surprisingly fantastic.
Insidious Chapter 4.
Yeah, that's not going to be good.
Wow. Saw Legacy. Wow.
All right, so what's your most anticipated film for next year? Because I know what mine is.
Kong Skull Island.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You did say
Yeah. Logan. I'm looking forward to Logan.
that. Yeah, see that one. Yeah.
And
Oh,
you know what? Fuck Transformers The Last Night. I'm not looking forward to anything that's going to be. I'm looking forward to Alien Covenant a little bit. Yossi, your phone just made some horror movie sounds.
No, that's Breaking Bad.
Oh, okay.
It's a Breaking Bad sound.
Huh. Doesn't look like there's too much. I'm not looking forward to Cars 3 at all.
That looks interesting. Cars 3 looks interesting. And
I need to see more of it before I
it's
decide.
probably going to be, it looks like it's going to be McQueen's kind of Dog Hudson story. You know how Dog Hudson crashed and he couldn't race anymore. They might be McQueen's version of that. And it's going to be interesting to see how, I don't know, I didn't see all of Cars 2. I saw like parts of it and I was like, I can't watch this. I don't know if they go over, but they don't really go over. I remember Cars 1, you know, he loses the Piston Cup, but how does, you know, the world react to that? Did they just assume him as the real winner and not really care about?
Trainspotting 2?
Forgot what the other guy's name was.
Oh yeah, Ghost in the Shell's coming out. Oh, The Mummy. Kind of torn between that one because I love the classic Universal monsters, and I know they're trying to jumpstart a Universal monster universe with this. Don't touch that little buddy.
He meowed, so his opinion is now in this podcast.
Oh God, 50 Shades Darker. I can't believe that they're still continuing that.
I can believe it because it makes money, but the thing is, it's really, I don't want to come off as sexist here, but women really like the stupid things a lot of the times. And I know that's going to come off as sexist, and you might.
Well, you know what? No, because you know what?
Am,
50 Shades of Grey is one of those stupid things. I don't know why women liked it. But...
No. Here's the caveat. Here, I guess I can follow this up by men like stupid stuff too. Like Fast and Furious is garbage.
That is a stupid thing that men like.
Yeah, exactly. So Fast and Furious is absolute trash, but men think it's great, and you can't argue with them. Like.
You know, there's one guy in the listening right now that's gonna be like, "Oh, what? No, Fast and Furious is awesome, bro."
He's gonna close it right now.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's not a good story. It's not coherent. Just watch the
It's
first
action.
three movies. Watch the first three movies and try to come up with a coherent story. Because apparently they haven't even come to the part where Tokyo Drift even happens. I think Tokyo Drift is the second movie.
Yeah.
But all the other movies are before Tokyo Drift.
I never understood that.
So, because they had like Vin Diesel and all the regular guys for the first one, and then they had a whole new cast in the second one, and then every movie since they're like, oh yeah, it just happens before Tokyo Drift, but they've never led into Tokyo Drift. I don't even know what happens in any of the movies except for Fast Five was the only one I cared to watch. The other ones I've seen bits and pieces.
I think I watched Furious 7. I see. I can't even like tell which ones I've watched just because they blend it together so much. Like, I was trying to talk about someone about it, like, and I was like talking about one of the action scenes. And they're like, "Oh no, that took place in this one." I was like, "Wow, I really can't fucking tell the difference."
Yeah,
in there.
exactly. There really is none. The thing is, this is what I like to say is,
It's a car guy movie.
no, it's not because you can be a car guy and not appreciate bad movies. You can. There's plenty of good cars in good movies. Um, the thing is, if you're a car guy, then go watch Mad Max Fury Road. That's a car movie. If you're a car guy and you are an intelligent human being, that's going to be the movie that you're going to like. That's what I like to say is if people ask me what Mad Max is about, because I made a huge deal about that back when it came out in 2015.
It really surprised me.
I still think it's the best movie of 2015. They'll ask like, oh, what's it about then? If I'm recommending it to someone, I'm like, well, imagine if Fast and Furious was good and happened post-apocalypse.
I wouldn't say like best story movie, but definitely best like visually. Definitely the best action wise. Oh yeah, most definitely the best.
That's Fast and Furious doesn't know what it is. Mad Max Fury Road knows what it is. It's an action movie.
It's just like, so hey, linear action. These guys, plot. These guys need to get there. That's all you need to know.
Exactly. Point A, point B.
Shit happens along the way.
Point B, come back to point A, and the thing is, there's not really a plot hole because the plot's not complicated enough for there to be a plot hole. So the story is sound. There's no way you can poke holes in it because there almost is no story.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is it knows what it is. It's a simple movie, simple premise, but it's got good action. It's filmed well. It's got good CGI. The CGI isn't a crutch for the movie. You know what else
was actually visually appealing to me? And this is another one of those things where like I hate that I have to say this. It was a Batman versus Superman had some really nice visual shots in there. Yeah, I think Zack Snyder is a wonderful visual director.
That's the thing is Zack Snyder knows how to make something look good, but he doesn't have any.
Yeah, substance. I've said that so long. Like he can make stuff look very, very good and like make you go, oh, that's so cool. He just doesn't know how to get in depth with his characters at all. He doesn't really direct people. He kind of just directs, like, I want to say backgrounds, really.
And that's why Man of Steel was a lot better than Batman v Superman, because Christopher Nolan had more control over Man of Steel. Obviously, he wasn't even a factor in Batman v Superman, which shows. I'm sure if he was, it would have been a lot better. It would have been interesting to see what it would have happened if he was a producer on that movie, but...
Ben Affleck's producing Justice League, right? Or is he directing?
No, he's not doing either. Zack Snyder's directing Justice League. Ben Affleck is directing the Batman movie.
I think that's going to be good.
He's a good director. He was helping with Batman v Superman because Zack Snyder was teaching him how to handle a movie that had that kind of budget, because he's never had a movie that had that high of a budget, that has that high of a scope. I mean, I'm pretty sure his biggest budget movie was The Accountant. So, and it might have been, him playing with that kind of budget. So, we'll see how it goes. Or it might have been his way of getting in Anna Kendrick's pants.
I'm really hoping Wonder Woman puts DC back on track, because I love DC. I really do. They have great stories, and they have great characters, and I just want to see something, really good done with them. And I'm hoping Wonder Woman is that. I have no idea where we stopped off at. I'm guessing it was when the phone call came through.
Oh, which wasn't that long ago.
All right, so yeah, we were just talking about Gal Gadot, and
apparently it's Gal Gadot. I think I've heard. I think I've seen a video where she pronounces her name as Gadot.
Oh, I thought it was fancy, and you said it like Gadot.
Yeah, no, I think it's Gadot.
But yeah, it's just.
But no, she has a really interesting story. She's a great Wonder Woman, great person for that role. I'm not sure of Scarlett Johansson's story, but apparently people wanted Marvel to make her a solo movie. I don't know
You know what?
why.
Here, I'm gonna say this, and I know a lot of people are gonna be pissed off. Do not make a Black Widow movie. It'd be the worst choice that Marvel could do. Here's what you do instead. Make a Netflix series about her. Like
Not even
honestly,
that. I
like
She's not interesting. She's not an interesting character.
well, I was gonna say
Scarlett Johansson can't play an interesting character. She's not. She doesn't have any acting chops.
I like her. And I was just gonna say, like, if you're gonna make a Netflix series about her, make one about like Black Widow and Hawkeye. Like, put them together, like
Maybe.
some of their old missions that they went on together, before like the Avengers and everything. Let's see some of that.
But
But
no, then they'd stray into territory where they're taking comedy out of certain parts. Like, they have this joke. They have this running joke between them about, I don't know. It was like, this reminds me of,
Budapest,
yeah,
yeah,
Budapest, and he says, "You and I remember Budapest real."
yeah,
The thing is, making a prequel, you're tempted to explain stuff like
yeah.
that, but that's the thing is they're funny because you don't know. That's why it's funny, is you don't
I'm not
know.
even saying explain that. I'm just saying like just I don't know, just something with that. Like she really
I
does
don't
not
know.
need a solo movie. She really doesn't.
The thing is, she's
She's
not
not
interesting.
she's not big enough in the comics
Oh,
to warrant her something like that. This is just a
I'll
bunch of like feminists going, we don't have enough female superheroes. You know what? That's fine. That's good. But Black Widow is not the choice for that at all.
And I'll expand on my thing about Scarlett Johansson playing flat characters. That's why she's good at Black Widow because Black Widow isn't a diverse, intricate character. She's very flat. She's very
She's
boring.
just
Most of
supposed
the
to be a
time.
sexy, alluring spy that kicks
Exactly,
ass,
and that's what Scarlett
that's
Johansson is.
where it
Just
ends and that's where it begins. Literally, there's bits and pieces like to the depth of there, but you really don't need to know a lot of that.
now Gal Gadot, she has been in Fast and Furious movies,
Has she?
but she hasn't had a lot of acting. Yeah, she's in Fast Five. I know for sure. She gets it's some dumb scene where she gets fingerprints by luring some dude to touch her ass. But what you'd expect from those garbage
I
movies. But she would be she would be a great choice for bringing more female characters because she was in the Israeli army.
ooh.
I, she's from Israel. I mean, you go from the Israeli army to becoming a huge Hollywood actor here. That's a great story. So not only would she be playing a great female character, but she is a great female character in real life. So that's really interesting about her. So I'm really looking forward to Wonder Woman. She was the best part of Batman v Superman, bar none. That when she jumps in,
Oh yeah.
and that music starts playing,
I love her fucking theme song.
that
Real
that
quick,
kills
did you ever see Finding Dory?
no, no, I didn't.
I will say, like, I enjoyed it. I was disappointed by it, and that's because there was no way it could have topped Finding Nemo, like, at all. You
That's the thing,
really,
I don't know why Disney is doing this thing where they just need to make sequels. Like,
you know what? Honestly, it was kind of nice to see what Nemo and the gang were up to, but I'll be honest, I didn't need to know what they were up to. I didn't need to know anything. I didn't need to know about
Finding
Dory's
Nemo was a
backstory.
story that began and ended. The thing about Disney Pixar that I don't understand is they're making sequels to movies that they didn't set up sequels for. Toy Story was fine. All those movies are good, but none of those movies set up for another
Yeah.
story. Those characters aren't set up for another story.
Really, the only one I'm thinking of that really honestly did set it up for a sequel was The Incredibles.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Is The Incredibles
Like, they ended on
set it
something,
up-
yeah.
They set it up where they're very strong setup for a
Yeah.
sequel, and then they
And-
didn't.
yeah.
So that's why I'm confused with Disney Pixar.
What-
Now they're doing it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know they're going.
What
to.
makes me mad though is that we're getting Cars 2 and 3 before Incredibles 2. And that's nothing I've never understood
Not
that. I
only
mean,
that,
I get Cars makes money, but
Finding
good lord.
Dory, Toy Story 4. I'm pretty sure they ended very well in Toy Story 3 where there was an ending
Yeah.
there. But where are you going to go? They're out of
You know,
Andes.
I heard that they were gonna focus on a new cast of toys, and I was like, you know what, that could work. But then I heard that they're bringing back the original cast of toys. I was like, don't do that.
Maybe. I don't know. Pixar is good at creating stories, so
Like, I
maybe.
mean, Finding Dory was their
apparently-
definitely their B material, but it was still a good film. It was just not the greatest film, not their A game. You could tell that they were just like, okay, we just need some money right now. Here's this, you guys. and
Yeah.
that's what Finding Dory was.
The first movie, well, Disney Pixar doesn't usually make trash, but Cars 2 was garbage. But that's the only one I can think of. Most of their movies are good. It's just, I don't understand why they're so focused on sequels. And then another thing that Disney's doing that I don't really like is they're making live action films out of their Disney princess
Yeah,
stories. Now,
Beauty and the
Beast
Beast.
is interesting because it's going to be Emma Watson in the front of Hollywood again. She's kind of been a sideshow, really. Her and Daniel Radcliffe. Well, Daniel Radcliffe's been more.
I feel like he's been trying to separate himself so hard from Harry Potter, and he keeps just doing more and
No,
more
I actually
artsy
do-
kind of films.
No, I don't think he is. I don't think he's trying to so hard to separate himself from. I think he's just trying to make himself an actor that you recognize
His name,
yeah
and not like Harry Potter.
yeah. I guess that what I'm saying is he's trying to separate, and I just said he. I don't think he's trying too hard to separate himself. I think he's just trying to make a name for himself, Daniel Radcliffe, that's not tied to Harry Potter by not throwing himself,
Real quick.
totally the opposite genre. But
Something I've been talking about for a while recently, and Warcraft came out this year, right? All right, so Warcraft, Angry Birds movie came out this year. Assassin's Creed is coming out this year too. Also, completely slipped under the radar. I only saw it because I was at Best Buy the other day, and I happened to see it. A Dead Rising movie came out, and I guess it was just straight to DVD.
okay, well,
But-
here's the thing: out of those movies you just listed, only one of them has the story that's structured to be a movie. Assassin's Creed is the only one that has a story that can be made into a
But
movie.
here's the thing here's the problem I have with that, and it's the same thing that I had a problem with Warcraft and Angry Birds is I don't know what it is about these like game companies. Like really the only video game movie that like managed to like get released around the time of its like popularity was Resident Evil. And I don't know why it takes like so long. Warcraft should have come out like 10 years ago or something. It should not be releasing like 2016. It missed its mark. It bombed over here. It did great overseas, of course, but over here it just was not the best. Same with Angry Birds. They completely missed the height of the popularity. I don't understand what.
Production companies got giant tax breaks in I don't know what country it was, like Germany or something, for making video game movies. So there was a whole huge flux of video game movies in the early 2000s because of those tax breaks that they received. I don't know why it happened, but they found it. Actually, I don't think it was a tax break. It was a tax loophole, and I forgot how they. But
That certainly explains
they
a lot.
squeezed
But
it
I
hard.
still think like Assassin's Creed should have came out like maybe like 4 years ago or so. I mean, I'll still probably go see it. I like Michael Fassbender. He's a great actor, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do.
What they did with it. I'm really glad that they did not.
Have you seen it?
No.
Oh, it's not out
But
yet,
I'm
is
talking
it?
about like what they're casting. It's interesting that they chose
I was
to do
surprised.
someone that's in that world, but not someone that we've seen. So I'm glad that they didn't do Assassin's Creed 1.
Yeah,
Desmond is annoying as it is. Assassin's Creed 2, they could have. I think they should have done.
I think
that.
that's.
they
I
should
think
have
a
done
lot of
Ezio.
people were
They
hoping
should
for
have done an
Ezio.
Ezio story, and they should have done no Desmond. So entirely Ezio. They didn't need. Because what do people love about Assassin's Creed? Like when you played Assassin's Creed, whenever you got to a Desmond level, you're like, ah, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you were frustrated. You didn't want to play Desmond
Yeah.
levels. You wanted to be an assassin. So they should have just made the Ezio story, but just have it entirely Ezio. Don't even mention what it goes on in the future because it doesn't
So
matter.
Michael Fassbender, he's just playing a completely new character, then, right?
Yeah, he's playing a totally new guy who's
Okay.
kind of the Desmond role, but he's playing a totally new guy, and it's set odd time period, but they have to choose a different one for each one. Spanish Inquisition. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. Hopefully they don't piss off Christians because the Spanish Inquisition was Christians' version of Sharia law. So the fact that they're gonna play with that, we'll see how that turns out.
Yeah.
I would if I was directing that movie, I would show what the Spanish Inquisition did, and not as like, oh,
Well, but
hey,
they
Christians,
got to
guess
keep it.
what?
They'd have to bump it up, I swear, to like a rated R or something. They're keeping it PG-13.
Well, yeah, you know
surprisingly.
what I mean, though.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't pull any plugs I didn't have
Ooh,
to.
I know a movie I'm looking forward to next year that's going to release right at the start, and I you know what? It's completely garbage series, Like it honestly, it's broken down into just cosplaying at this point. Resident Evil: The Final Chapter. I love that movie series. That is a guilty pleasure series of
Yeah, I
mine.
was gonna say that's got to be a guilty
Yeah,
pleasure
that
because
I was
that's not
like,
a good
yeah,
movie.
no, no. I was about to say, there's really nothing like in depth about the plot or anything. It's stupid. It's action. I know that. I know that I'm watching stupid action, but
Hey,
I still enjoy it.
don't worry about it. I love Star Wars 3. But not for the story. I just want to throw that out there. I made fun of Fast and Furious people. That's Fast and Furious and what was that movie that girls
50 Shades.
50 Shades. Do you know that movie is a fan fiction off of Twilight? You know
Yeah,
that's how that was born.
you know how
So
much
we had
that
to
doesn't
suffer
surprise
twice
me.
for that.
Like I feel like I could not watch that movie without just thinking these were supposed to be like Bella and Edward.
Now what's good is now don't quote me on the numbers here, but the least grossing Harry Potter movie did way better than the most grossing Twilight movie, and that gives me some hope for the future.
Yeah.
But like Twilight is just a fundamentally broken movie. So is 50 Shades of Grey. So is Fast and Furious. And at least you and I realize, I know I love
Yeah.
Star Wars 3, but that plot is absolute dog shit.
Don't even get me started on Transformers, man.
Yeah, Resident Evil. But the thing is, there are hardcore fans that think those movies are good. And there's no arguing with those guys because they think
Well,
Vin
like-
Diesel's a good actor.
Like they go like, of course, like they're like, yeah, these movies are great. You know, that's great that you think those movies are great, but you also gotta, see them for what they are. Just mindless, stupid action. There's nothing wrong with liking mindless, stupid action. Just don't put them up there with like good thinking man movies. Like I don't know, like Good Will Hunting. I like that's a good one.
Yeah.
Like don't ever fucking group Fast Five with fucking Good Will Hunting.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
The thing about and the thing I was gonna expand more on Vin Diesel. He's a trash actor. Everybody listening to this, he's absolutely
You know
garbage. The two greatest
like him.
roles the two greatest roles he's had is Iron Giant and Groot. Now Iron Giant, he played a robot, an emotionless robot that had to talk like a robot. Of course, they're gonna pick Vin Diesel for that. And he did a great job being Vin Diesel. And then Groot, he had one line. He like would stand there in the booth and then spew out "I'm Groot" 600 times. And then I feel honestly the people that edited his sound did more work than he did.
Oh fuck yes, they did. Are you kidding me?
But that's the thing is, those are his best roles where the
know.
director knows that he's a bad actor and plays on his few strengths.
Another guilty pleasure series of mine, The Chronicles of Riddick,
Yeah, see, and that's fine. And
that is just honestly Vin Diesel going.
Being
I
Vin
want.
Diesel.
Yeah, that's just him behind, like directing and behind the camera, going. I want to look like a badass, and he makes himself look like a badass. I'm like, all right, Vin Diesel, you did a good job.
Yeah, so, as far as movies I'm looking forward to for 2017, obviously number one, Dunkirk. Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, I know Christopher Nolan's your boy.
He has done no wrong yet. There has been no movie of his. Any director that is out there, you could name a movie of theirs that didn't do well. Critics didn't like it. Audience didn't like it. Whatever. Christopher Nolan,
I was gonna say
you can't
Quentin
say that for
Tarantino,
Nolan
and
yet.
then I thought Jackie Brown. Jackie Brown was just not interesting.
Exactly, and part of it is because he hasn't been in the game as long.
Yeah.
But the thing is, there isn't a piece of work of his that hasn't been critically acclaimed yet. The worst movie on his tally is Dark Knight Rises. And if you're a movie director and the worst movie you have is Dark Knight Rises, you're in a good spot. That's all I gotta say about that. It'll be interesting to see Dunkirk because this is the first time he's
Done a
this is
war
the-
movie?
This is the first time where you don't know how. I mean, you know how his movie's gonna finish because Dunkirk. Everybody knows what you know. You can look up on Wikipedia.
Yeah,
what
I was about
happens.
to
in
say, I don't
Dunkirk.
know a lot about Dunkirk, but I'm sure I could look it up. And I was just surprised to see him doing kind of a war movie.
Yeah, exactly. It's a-
Interstellar still blows me away. The visuals in
love
that.
that
That was
movie.
one movie I am so glad I got to see in theaters because there are some shots.
That's
in
the
there,
thing is Christopher Nolan movies. They are theater movies. You have to
like
see them in
yeah,
theater.
like there's that scene. I remember one scene in particular in Interstellar where the giant wall of water is coming at me. I was just like,
That. Oh my god! I watch that on YouTube sometimes, dude. The way that he structures that is just
and his
Amazing.
musical score. I mean,
him
even
and
when
Hans
his
Zimmer
yeah,
go hand in hand.
yeah.
One cannot be there without the other. I love that they have
Yeah.
started together and they're not going to split up too. Like there's no splitting those two now. But that wave scene, perfect. I just want to talk about how that scene was shot. They or what's going on in that scene because people really don't notice what's going on, like how much stuff is going on in that shot. But you know they're on that planet, and spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen Interstellar.
You go do yourself a favor. Pause this right now. Go fucking
Just go watch it and then
Interstellar.
finish the video. But basically, you know, every minute on there, or
Yeah,
is it
yeah.
every hour is 7 years.
Yeah.
I think it's every hour is 7 years or 20 years.
It was a long time because by the
It
time
was
they
a-
got back to the space
because
station,
he had been there for 30 something
Yeah.
years, or 27 years. So I think it is seven. I think
Yeah.
it is 7 years for every hour. So, so the second they get on that, the score, there's a ticking clock, and you don't really pay attention to that, but your subconscious does. It's really weird. So you feel the need to get off there. You feel the need for a rush, like they need to get there and get out. And then they keep on calling those things mountains, which subconsciously you're just like, yeah, those are mountains. That's all good. And and then he's like, those aren't mountains, those are waves. You're like, all right, you're getting a little intrigued now. And then he's like making the connections, like, and that one's moving away from us. And you're like, oh shit. So he's going to the back of it, and then that music that comes when oh, that's so perfect, man. Everything about that scene is absolutely beautiful. Just the tension he creates, the there's some parts in it that are a little like goofy, like Tars.
Tars was probably
he could
my
have gotten
favorite.
those. He could have gotten both of them on board, but I mean, whatever. Those are tiny, tiny things, and Christopher Nolan. Movies.
Most of the nitpicks I have with Christopher Nolan movies are honestly just little like just
Tiny
little
things.
nitpicks. I'm just like we could have really done without that or something like that. But altogether, he's a fantastic director.
You're gonna have nitpicks in that
yeah.
movie, really.
Like honestly, like I have yet to see like a perfect movie where like I just can't find any like nitpicks with it. Unpopular opinion, real quick. Dark Knight used to be one of the perfect movies for me, and I just over the years I've come to realize that the worst part about the Dark Knight trilogy is Batman himself. I do not like Christian Bale, and here's why.
That is unpopular.
That it
I
is
have to
very
disagree
unpopular,
with that.
and here let me just state. You can disagree with it in a second, but here let me explain why he ruins the entire series for me. You will have great tense scenes. There's a scene where Gordon and freaking Harvey Dent are on the roof talking. It's really intense, and then Bale shows up and goes, "If I get him to you, you get him to Doc." And the thing is, he doesn't, and he stated this in interviews, he does not take Batman seriously. And that is why, like, he doesn't play it like I feel like he should be played. And
Now, here's where I disagree with you. I love Christian Bale's Batman, and the reason is because he fit. The thing about Christopher Nolan's Batman was it was such a different version of Batman, where it was more grounded in reality. Christopher Nolan himself said, "Superman doesn't exist. Wonder Woman doesn't exist. There's no magic here. There's no magic toxin that's going through Bane's veins. He's just a really insanely buff dude. So there's no magic in this world. So he fits well into that realistic thing there. And if you're gonna be real, everybody knows Bruce Wayne's voice. Now I'm not gonna say we know what Bill Gates sounds like, but we know what Donald Trump sounds like, right?
I was gonna
If
say,
Donald Trump put on a
well,
mask and
you saw how Batman v Superman fixed that, right? With
with the
voice changer.
of course, but the thing is, maybe Christopher Nolan didn't think of that, and maybe
Well,
he just
he didn't use. Here's the thing, though. That wasn't Christopher Nolan's choice. This was Christian Bale's choice to do the voice. He doesn't use it like really at all in like the Batman Begins. Christian Bale said he did it because that's the only way he could take Batman seriously if he did that goofy garbled voice. And I was just like, okay, so you're the reason why he sounds like shit right now.
I don't know. I've never actually had a problem with his voice, because honestly, he doesn't really talk all that much. If you look at the entire dialogue of the movie, he doesn't really talk all that much when he's not yelling at people. And that voice works well for
Another thing
yelling at
is,
people.
he doesn't do a lot of detective work. If you watch the series,
That I can agree with. I'll agree with you on that.
Yeah, He yells at people to tell him where stuff is.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll agree with you on that. World's Greatest Detective was really lost on the Nolan trilogy, and they could have explored that a bit more. They kind of did in The Dark Knight.
I was
When
about
they
to
were
say,
finding the thing is
he
the
put
way they found it
together
out
a
was really
bullet,
goofy.
yeah.
That was really goofy. I didn't like that. But yeah, like World's Greatest Detective, he couldn't, figure out that what was the first thing he was trying to find out.
There was a lot of stuff he was trying to find out.
Yeah, so he wasn't really a fantastic detective, but yeah, small nitpick.
We should probably wrap this up soon. We are almost at an hour.
Nah, it's all good. But yeah, just to briefly go over it, movies I'm looking forward to in 2017. Dunkirk, number one. War of the Planet of the Apes, or War for
Hell
the
yeah.
Planet of the Apes, number
Yeah.
2 for sure. Probably Wonder Woman maybe is my number 3. I haven't really looked at all the movies coming out in 2017, but yeah, I'd say that Wonder Woman's probably pretty up there. Everything else is, I mean,
You see it, you see it.
yeah, if I see it, I'll see it. Spider-Man, I'll probably see in theaters, but it's not like if the tomorrow production announced, no, it's not coming out. I wouldn't be worried
Yeah.
about it. Of course, the internet would be in uproar
Yeah.
about it. Movies I'm not looking forward to in 2017. That is what I wanted to go over. That emoji fucking nonsense I mentioned earlier.
I think we already talked about most of the movies we didn't want to see. There's Transformers. There's fucking the Emojis movie.
Where'd my phone go?
It's in the couch.
Probably. But yeah, Transformers. I saw a trailer for that, and I was just shaking my head the entire time. Like,
Well, you see, the thing is, here's what Michael Bay does. He'll drop the trailer for it, and you'll think, oh, this looks so serious, and it looks like it's going to, like, take it seriously now. But you know what? It won't. It's going to be filled with the same stupid bullshit that Michael Bay always stuffs into his movies. Because I remember seeing the trailers for Transformers 4 and going, oh, wow, that looks like it's going to be serious now. It looks like it's going to be good, and I've never wanted my money back more from a movie than I have in Transformers 4.
yeah, no, I'm on. Isn't that what he like wrote a dinosaur or something?
I love Dinobots. Dinobots
Oh
are
my
my
God.
favorite, but
Way to
Michael
make
Bay
it
took a shit on the Dinobots.
Way to make it even more goofy. Like just.
I don't know if you've ever seen Transformers, but they're pretty fucking goofy.
No, That's the thing though is, he doesn't know it's goofy, so he tries to make a serious movie with a serious plot
Yeah.
about it. He doesn't understand that he needs to do a Guardians of the Galaxy, or a Mad Max
Yeah.
where it knows what it is. It just doesn't try to make.
And
a
then the
complicated
goofy
story.
shit he tries to put in there comes off as just either racist, stupid, or just unneeded at all.
or pedoph.
Pedophilic.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, I feel like I can't really talk about that.
Despicable Me 3.
Yeah.
I don't see the need for it.
Yeah, it's money.
Yeah,
DreamWorks is
money.
gonna hammer that into the
Lego
fucking ground.
Batman. Lego Batman's interesting.
I think I'll go see Lego Batman.
We'll see.
The other superhero person in our group, Kara, she was not looking forward to Lego Batman at all.
We'll see. It's not like it's. Hopefully, it's doing what it does in the trailers and knows it's just a goof.
Goofy movie.
The Boss Baby. I am so glad that I've stopped seeing trailers all over Facebook for that. It was not funny. It was a.
It looked like a very
It was a
stupid
baby with a
concept.
deep voice. Like wow, how hilarious! That was the entire trailer. Was. Yeah, DreamWorks needs to get its shit together.
Kong Skull Island. That one is up there for me because I'm a huge giant monster fan.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to Thor Ragnarok and Spider-Man. And
Star Wars Episode 8. I'm definitely looking.
Oh,
forward to
that comes out next year too. I totally forgot about that.
I'm hoping for more lightsaber battles.
I want Kylo Ren to keep his fucking mask on.
Yeah, keep the mask on, but more lightsaber battles, less talking, less.
Kylo Ren was intimidating until he took off that damn mask.
Oh, that's the thing about him is it shows that he's a real person. But yeah, Star Wars Episode 8. I'm looking forward to, but other than that, 2017 just doesn't look like a fantastic year.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. All right, well, I guess that has been Film Bros, the first podcast for it. Hoping we can get some live action stuff in here at some point. We can do like live action reviews or something. But we'll see how it goes. So thank you all for listening, and have a good day.
Fuck off.